First of all, I'd like to thank the Mountaineer Nation. I was looking at the box score, 10,693 on a family day on a Saturday afternoon, a couple days before Christmas. It's great to feel that support. We haven't given them a lot to hang on to, but they back us, continuously back us, and shout out to our fans for showing up and helping us get that win. That we feed off that energy. So, we'll be back here for conference play, and the students will be back, and I'm excited to get that place rocking again. After the game, met with the guys, and the first thing I said is, everybody gave them a standing ovation. We finally out-rebounded someone. We were +1 on the glass, so big credit to, a cook there, especially in the second half, really shoring up some of that rebounding issues that we were having, so especially with the lack of size that we got on the floor. So, it was a good win for us. We certainly was concerned about fast break points and defensive transition, and they really did a good job going downhill and putting pressure on the rim and finding their isolations where we had a hard time, defending some of those isolations with those size between Cochran and Simmons. But they had a good game plan, and we came out hot and wish we could have kind of extended that lead, but we found a way to win.
So, Josh, most points for you guys this year. Your best offensive game, and do you feel like there's a rhythm starting to develop with the offenses? Guys are getting used to each other?
Yeah, it's like I said on the radio, it's a little bit of a chemistry thing. It's one thing to practice together, every day and try to learn off each other, but until we get in game scenarios and get those guys the right run together, it's not the same in practice. So, yeah, I felt like they played more cohesive tonight on the offensive end, and we were more of a balanced attack than we were the other night, and just had more patience, and I continued to tell them, we run a lot of sets, but there's first action, second action, and then we always have continuity to fall back on that maybe we didn't really fall back on at the Radford game. We were more patient and fell back on some of that continuity today. And Kurt did a great job with a double-double, 12 and 10 assists. So he's got to be that floor general every night, and we also need him to score. So 3 for 6 from 3. So I like those numbers.
Does it take a while for players, again, game scenario, to get used to Kerr's passing? Because obviously he throws some stuff that nobody else had been doing. So does it take a while?
Kerr's really good at understanding, we say KYP in basketball, know your personnel. That doesn't necessarily mean just the opponent. That means, your own guys. And he's really learning where he can deliver the ball to certain guys. Jesse might be he's more of a lob threat. He's throwing it up, and other guys might need a softer bounce pass. And Kerr's really good when we talk about, I think Quinn called him a magician in that way. He isn't a magician in terms of putting the ball where guys can handle it. But, he's only was going game 3 for him. So they're all learning from him, especially game speed.
Coach, can you talk about you're working new guys in, but that also sort of means like, Josiah, Kobe, Seth, they're taking on kind of a new role with these new guys coming in. I mean, if you add up those 3 minutes tonight, it equals out to maybe like what one of them played during the first 9 games. It's a change for them. I'm wondering what kind of conversations you've like maybe had with them, because it's more than just working new guys in. You've got to work the other end as well.
Yeah, 100%. And I think my message to them was, we got to figure out everybody's going to have new roles. Not many coaches transition. Sometimes they transition one guy in. I mean, we were transitioning basically 3.5 guys into the rotation. We weren't going to play with a 6-7 man rotation all year. So what we expected for the first 9 games was going to change. And so we talked a lot about, individual roles. Those guys off the bench, when we went flat early in the second half, did a great job of coming in and changing that. And we would have, if they continue to, the pace goes the right way, we continue to roll with, guys off the bench, we're going to keep them in. So they're going to have a huge role in our success moving forward. And as soon as everybody buys into their role 100%, we're going to be a good team. Like I said, it's a challenge of trying to figure out where your place is and what that means to help us be successful. And that's coming. We certainly made a huge step up from the Radford game a few nights ago.
That's what kind of came to the front today on Acook was the idea that he's just not a big man. He's a pretty good athlete. He made some neat plays today. Talk about that a little bit and how he attracted you guys.
Cook, his biggest strength is on the defensive end. He can really change shots. He can sit down and guard 1 through 5. Like there at the end, I had no problem switching everything with him out on the floor because he can sit down, move his feet, and guard. But when he gets isolated down low against larger guys, his lift is his best defense. Some of the bigger, stronger guys are just going to back him down. So we got to, we've had conversations. We just got to fight around and almost front with him. But yeah, that's his wheelhouse is on the defensive end. He can be explosive offensively as well, and he's trying to find his place. He's a point off having a double-double, it looked like, but he can once he finds his momentum offensively and where he fits in, he's going to be a huge part of this, and he already is. But we look at his minutes. He's at this is probably the most he's got, almost 25 minutes, and you still see some exhaustion in him, and we still have to try to manipulate that the best we can. And we didn't really have that option tonight with Pat getting in foul trouble and only playing 8 minutes. And
Tell me a little bit about his personality too. He seems like just watching him leave the court today. I mean, he was stopping and posing for pictures with kids, and he seems to be enjoying what he's doing.
Cook has went through so much. It's just every time I see him smile, it's music to my ears. Seeing him smile because he went through so much, and just so happy for him. He's getting his bearings under him and starting to feel that basketball's a huge part of all these guys' life. So he thought it was almost taken away from him, and now he sees the success and helped us win this game tonight, and that'll go a long ways moving forward.
You mentioned the cohesiveness on offense and things getting better there. Defensively, is that also something that has to improve?
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing. We may have probably been, you look at our probably numbers, and we're going to probably score a lot higher clip, but defensively we're giving up a lot, as you can tell, and you can't judge it based on, okay, who was your 6-man rotation, and now your rotation is different, but what'd you lose? You lose a big piece in the defensive puzzle, which was Jesse Edwards. So it's hard to make that comparison, with all the changes.
As far as, you're talking the other night about finding that identity. First night, I mean, you could almost kind of just chop the season up into different parts, and the identity is going to be different in each of those parts. Does that change again, like when Jesse comes back? And
I mean, I think it's going to be a more balanced identity. You can probably mix and match what you saw in the first 9 games, which and then the second month you get that little period in the time where we played without Ray. So they haven't all played together.
Right.
They haven't all played together, and we're a different team without Ray. We're a different team without Kerr. We're a different team without Jesse. But I mean, I've seen it to where they're all playing together. It's kind of a special unit. Now, we don't have the greatest of depth, especially with the forwards. Cook sitting there trying to salvage as many minutes as he can guarding the 5, but he's really truly a 4-man. And Pat really identifies more as a 4-man as well. He doesn't really see himself as a 5, but he's our biggest, strongest guy, so he can go down there and battle. But yeah, we're just it's a ever-changing, evolving identity that we're trying to figure out how to win with each and every night.
And the bunch that you have right now, as far as the old saying, letting the horses out of the gate, it seems like that's kind of maybe what you're comfortable with. I mean,
Yeah, like I told him late in the first half, going into the last media timeout, I was like, there's 4 or 5 minutes left there. I was like, we're in a bonus, guys. What are we doing? Let's stop taking these shots. And we kept on popping them off, regardless of what I said. And I was like, let's go downhill on them. Let's put pressure on the rim. We got Raekwon, we got Noah. Let's put Kerr in those ball screens, and while they're hard hedging and getting out of there, and make that hockey assist, a 1-2, and then downhill. So, yeah, it's an ever flowing game.
What's the schedule over the holidays? And Raekwon, I guess, was already heading out to get quick flight, so.
Yeah, this game's always, from a coaching perspective, a hard game, because you can't keep them locked in, and everybody's, sometimes they're 1 foot out the door because they can't wait to see, mom and dad, and I understand that. So I was glad that we scheduled it a 1 o'clock game so those guys can get out, and it's a long season, and it never feels like it ever stops, like even through the summer and everything else. So it's huge for these guys to see some, taste the victory and get 3.5 days off going into Christmas. So they'll be off tomorrow, Christmas, and the 26th, and then we'll come back on the 27th in the afternoon and practice and start getting ready for Ohio State.
Coach, for you personally, what will Christmas mean this year with the situation you've been in and circumstances?
It's the time with my family is going to be critical. I'm not traveling anywhere, and home is where I lay my head down at night, and my 3 kids and my wife, and just going to be able to sit back and enjoy it and spend time with them, maybe take some of the load of the stress off. It's it's been a big burden, and it's been a big challenge to handle it all. So I'm gonna put basketball away for a couple of days and really spend some time with them.
Chance to reset a little bit. Yeah.
The walls. Teddy bouncing off the walls.
Yeah, Teddy doesn't know when we win or lose. Teddy's he stays pretty even keel, so he gives me that energy, that new life each and every day when I walk in the door. So,
Coach, thank you.